Where
Uh,
I
this is
haven't
not a
seen that.
yeah.
I'm looking around right now.
I'll put it up.
I put out a poll about a few days ago about whether people thought the convention would be held remotely, just like Biden's 2020 campaign, and the inauguration of Biden was held behind basically like blast walls. But there's a lot of activity going on to prevent the protesters from disrupting the convention. They haven't gotten permits. They've been blocked from getting permits to be anywhere near the convention. They're going to be in Hyde Park, which is 3 miles away from the arena where the convention will be held. I do know that like the Poor People's Campaign has a permit, possibly because of some error by the DNC's lawyers. They have a permit to march to the arena, so anyone can join that. So I feel like they're just going to bandwagon on that.
And there's the headline from Politico. Joe Biden's top advisors are worried the Democratic convention could erupt in protests, so they're pushing to move it semi-online. I mean, George W. Bush didn't even do that during the Iraq War. Remember that massive march in 2004?
I was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there too. Like, they knew for a while that would be happening. They didn't try. I mean, I guess back then the internet wasn't as, it wasn't as strong as it is now. But still, I mean, this is like, that's how afraid the Democrats are of their voters and their base, is they're going to try to hold as much as they can of their convention online.
Oh man. And I mean, what that benefits them in many ways, because they don't want any challenge to Biden anyway. It's not like the convention is an outmoded thing. It's just basically a propaganda platform. It's not like there's going to be some big fight over who the nominee will be, as in 1968. But it also shows how weak and petty the DNC are and how obsessed with control they are, because there are some key differences here between Chicago now and Chicago in 1968, when Mayor Richard Daley, who was a vocal supporter of the Vietnam War and just a machine boss politician, sicked the Chicago police onto the protesters at Hyde Park. It was a police riot. Everyone was beaten brutally. And it kind of led to the Democrats' demise all the way up until, I don't know, they never really escaped from it until Bill Clinton came in 1992 and just adopted the Republican Party's platform as his own. So right now you have Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's one of the most progressive mayors in the country. I think he was the tie-breaking vote for Chicago on Chicago's city council on whether to support a ceasefire. I think he openly supports a ceasefire. He claims that the police are undergoing de-escalation classes and tactics for managing protests without brutalizing them. And yet they still can't manage it. They still can't manage it at all. And they're going to go semi-online. And that's great. Let them do that. Biden deserves to pay a serious price for this. And you can't have a semi-online convention and expect to come out of it looking triumphant and ready for November.